Caitlin Clark finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing up in quite some time.
Caitlin Clark just made a bold and risky decision that has everyone talking. She's stepping back into the chaos of the WNBA for her second season. Yes, the same league that turned her rookie year into a nightmare filled with fouls, cheap shots, and blatant disrespect. She's diving back into the fire, where she was shoved around, eye-poked, accused of racism, and painted as the problem. Despite all of this, Clark is ready to face the storm once again. Will she rise above the drama, or will the WNBA's rough treatment repeat itself?
He wrote, "Thank you to the many people who have supported me as I've been able to live my childhood dream. I'm filled with gratitude as I reflect on this past year of my life. See you all in year 2.
And for what? For a league that's been coasting on her talent while handing her nothing but bruises and headaches. But that's Caitlin, fearless, relentless, and apparently ready to brave the madness again. Let's just hope the WNBA finally gets its act together, because if they mess this up twice, they won't just be the villains in her story. They'll be the clowns of their own circus.
Absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls, certainly mine as well, playing her basketball and watching her play.
Caitlin Clark just announced she's giving the WNBA a second chance, and they should be grateful. After a jaw-dropping rookie season where she averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game, she's sticking around for another year. And no, it's not because the league earned it. She's back because she's got unfinished business. If the WNBA had any sense, they'd be on their knees thanking her. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark is doing things beyond her years. She single-handedly put the Indiana Fever back on the map, turning a sleepwalking team into a spectacle that drew over 177,000 fans a game. The Fever might as well rename their arena Clark's House, because she's the only reason people showed up at all.
Caitlin Clark is way better, way sooner than anybody thought.
But let's talk about what really went down last season. The disrespect and outright abuse Clark faced from a league that should have been celebrating her. She wasn't just playing basketball, it was like she was trapped in a twisted episode of Survivor. From cheap shots and shady fouls to refs who acted more like paid-off doormen than officials, Clark endured every dirty trick in the books, and the worst part? The league stood by and did nothing. Instead of protecting their brightest star, they let her get pummeled while turning a blind eye to the chaos around her.
Also did it with the spotlight on her at a very young age. Fame is hitting this young lady's life. And I see a misstep or something that I wouldn't want to show my daughter. Literally every step of the way, it's just like, watch her, watch how she plays, watch how she handles her business.
The girl got poked in the eye, shoved around like a rag doll. And yet, where were the whistles? MIA, just like the WNBA's credibility. It was almost like they were testing her. But guess what? She didn't snap. She kept owning the court, outscoring, outplaying, and outshining every so-called star they threw at her. While the league looked the other way, Caitlin Clark proved, game after game, that no amount of dirty play could dim her brilliance.
Everyone else is seeing this angle. I'm calling her in, and I'm saying to her, I need answers.
That was straight up a UFC move in the middle of a playoff game, no less. I'm surprised they didn't just hand out boxing gloves instead of jerseys. And where were the refs? Probably sipping their coffee, because they definitely weren't protecting the league's top rookie. It's like the WNBA took a page out of the How to Ruin Your Best Talent handbook. Why safeguard your future when you can let your brightest star get a finger jabbed in her face during a crucial game? Brilliant strategy.
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never...
And let's talk numbers. Clark received 177% of all flagrant fouls called in the league. 177%. How does that even happen? It's like they were running a special discount on fouls for Clark. Buy one, get 100 more free. Meanwhile, her opponents are practically clotheslining her, and the refs? Acting like they're blindfolded, Clark was putting up MVP-level stats. And what did she get in return? A whistle-happy ref squad treating her like she was the problem. Yeah, the problem is she's too good, making the rest of the league look like amateurs.
I think just being competitive is who I am. It's what I've done my whole career. I think at times there's ways I can probably channel it a little bit better, but that's just basketball at the end of the day. No, that's never gonna change. I'm never gonna lose that. I feel like I'm getting hammered. I don't know. I appreciate Christy getting a tech too. Like, I don't know.
But wait, it gets better. Shoving, leg pulling, every cheap shot in the book. Clark got the full tour of the WNBA's welcome committee. Other players were out there acting like she owed them money, yanking her around like it was a back alley brawl. And the league's response? Crickets. No fines, no suspensions, not even a slap on the wrist. If Clark's endurance doesn't earn her a statue outside the arena, I don't know what will. And what's the WNBA doing now? Pretending none of this ever happened, acting like year one was a fairy tale instead of the full-on horror show it turned into for her. They should be begging her to stay, not shrugging it off like she didn't just survive a season in their chaotic madhouse. The fact that she's even considering coming back for year two is a miracle. If it were anyone else, they'd be ghosting the WNBA so fast they'd leave skid marks. But Clark? She's got grit, and she's coming back. The league better start treating her like the gift she is.
WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
The public perception of Caitlin Clark is absolutely fascinating. You'd think she'd be hiding in a corner after all the ridicule and mockery from the league, but nope. She's standing tall, showcasing poise under pressure that would make even Michael Jordan and Steph Curry nod in approval. Seriously, when you're being compared to legends like that, you know you're doing something right, and it's not just about the numbers. It's about how she carries herself when everything's stacked against her. Other players might crumble under the pressure, but Clark? She just laughs, hits a three-pointer, and keeps moving while everyone else is busy tripping over their egos now. Let's talk about social media because Clark's strategy is a masterclass in handling public perception. Her posts are curated with the precision of a surgeon, carefully crafted to show her best self while ignoring the noise from haters. It's no surprise she's built such a solid fan base, and let's not forget those playoff games she played in. They drew over 2.5 million viewers, the highest ratings for WNBA playoff games since 2000. Talk about moving the needle. This brings us to the so-called Caitlin Clark effect on the WNBA. If anyone thought she was just a player, think again. Her presence has rejuvenated interest in the league faster than anything else in years. Other teams are suddenly benefiting from her success, drawing in crowds that were practically non-existent before. I mean, how does one rookie create a ripple effect that shakes up an entire league? Her fans have made it clear they want to see her play, and they want to see it now. Attendance and merchandise sales have skyrocketed, and the WNBA owes a huge part of that to Clark. The league should be sending her thank you notes daily.
Sense of entitlement and the sour, bad, nasty attitudes that many of these players are exhibiting, I think exactly is one of the reasons why for the past 20 some odd years, nobody has cared about this league, why there is certainly an antipathy towards it.
But let's not overlook the financial side of Caitlin Clark's stardom. The surge in merchandise sales and sponsorship deals is proof that the WNBA finally has a player who can attract both attention and cash. How ironic, right? The league has been sitting on a gold mine for years, and now that Clark has arrived and shaken things up, they're reaping the rewards of her hard work and talent. It's like they've been given a second chance to shine. All thanks to her. Let's be real. The WNBA should be bending over backward to keep Clark happy because, quite frankly, they don't deserve her. And yet, despite all this, they've thrown her into a gladiator arena filled with critics, haters, and bullying players. The league still has a lot to learn about. Treating its stars right, and if they don't get their act together, they might just lose their most valuable asset. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing for the WNBA, she's playing to elevate the entire league. The WNBA needs to wake up and realize they're on the verge of losing a player who's not only changing the game, but also transforming how the league is perceived. So, here's to Caitlin Clark. The true superstar who's doing the impossible while navigating the chaos that is the WNBA. Good luck to the league because they're going to need it. Honestly, it feels like a message was being sent to Clark like, you want to come into our league? This is how you need to be. It also seems like a warning to brands like Nike. Clark's presence has become that significant. It's a miracle she's giving them another shot because if she decided to take her talents elsewhere, the WNBA would go back to being irrelevant overnight. Now, as she gears up for year 2, the hype is real. Fans are losing their minds waiting to see what she'll do next, and ticket sales are probably breaking records already. But here's the catch. If the WNBA doesn't fix its act and stop treating Clark like a punching bag, they could lose her. And then what? Go back to pretending they have a star-studded lineup while people change the channel? Yeah, good luck with that. Clark is the kind of player who makes people care about women's basketball. Without her, what are they left with? A bunch of washed-up players arguing over Instagram likes.